Hello there, beautiful ones. Rosie Glow here. How are you doing? Welcome to this energy update, which is pre-full moon and solstice. Now, if you are new to me, I channel Divine Grace, which allows us through the power of revelation to be set free from the limited perceptions, the limited expectations that we have inherited that make us live again and again and again the same old loop, wondering why, trying to change things with our conscious mind, which you just can't do if you don't actually address your subconscious programming and put your soul in control, which is your superconscious. And that is what I teach my beautiful clients. My clients are awakening star seeds who are learning to live as their divine human selves, to activate their superpowers so that we can each lead the way in co-creating the new earth paradigm. And if you like the sound of that, please do hit like and the notifications tab and subscribe and be part of this wave of grace, because we are here to shift this planet out of a paradigm of struggle, fear-based living, into a paradigm of co-creating paradise on earth. And I'm delighted to be a part of that. Today, we are going to be looking at what's going on in terms of coming to what is the lightest day in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, then you're getting to the darkest day. But either way, what we're getting to see is what is hidden in plain sight. And oh my goodness, are the powers that should not be, or currently are, maybe they should be because of what they're actually teaching us. Welcome those who are joining, please say hello. Are trying to stop being revealed. It's going to be a short update because what I really want to do is to get as many of you as possible subscribe to join us on Sunday, UK time 12 p.m. So that's quite early EST time and Pacific Standard Time. But ultimately, we are gathering together for the full moon co-creation meditation ahead of the solstice and ahead of the full moon next Thursday. Now, why am I doing this? I'm getting ahead of the wave. I've mentioned in previous videos that these points of convergence, these points of solstices, equinoxes, full moons, new moons, they're times where we can really harness our power. But there is a battle going on that I've talked about in other videos as well, and that is the battle between allowing love to win or allowing fear to win. And that is going on within each of us. It's also going on in the collective. So when these portals, powerful portals, open up, all the aspects of our shadow, collective and individual, that have not been fully integrated, like to come along and try and hijack the ride. And, you know, one of the things that I've kind of been contemplating over the last 12 to 18 months is things I never thought were really true, or I didn't want to believe were true. And that is the extent to which the anti-love, anti-life has been reigning supreme and trying to antagonize the fact that what has happened already in our universe and the multiverse is going to be happening here on Earth, come what may. This ascension is guaranteed. However, in previous times, we've got to this point before and the darkness has won because we hadn't overcome it in ourselves. So this is very much about each of us standing up and being counted. And, you know, we've just come through a new moon in Gemini. So Gemini is an air sign. It's all about, you know, which voice are we going to feed? What's going to win within us? Well, it's what we energize. Same as in the collective, it's what we're going to energize. And very similar to the weather, like in the UK, we had a week of sunshine, really beautiful sunshine. Suddenly it's like rain, wind, storms. And this is what's going on. These extremes are going on to prepare us for the full moon, super moon. And, you know, when it's a super moon, it's that much more potent. It's in Capricorn. And it's like, dig your heels in. The light has won. That's where we're at. And that's what I'm like, So we have a game that we're playing at the moment. There's always a game of life. The game at the moment is I am going to believe what I want to see rather than I am going to believe it once I see it. I'm asking everybody to cultivate the power of their imagination at this very powerful time, because as we come to the solstice, we have so much support from our guides, our teachers, our non-physical friends to help us to direct our intention to the very highest outcome. But we have to dig our heels in. We have to understand that in these extremes of, oh, it's looking hopeful, oh, it's looking terrible, oh, it's looking hopeful, oh, it's looking terrible, that we just need to stake our claim in the sand. It's like the sword of compassion, Archangel Michael's. It's like the light has won. My life, my vision, my whole purpose, the way I show up is on the basis that the light has won. So that's what we want to be doing. Now, what that is going to mean in our own lives is anything that is triggering fear we each need to take it upon ourselves to rewrite the narrative. So I'm going to give you an example, because I have a group called Critical Thinkers Practicing Discernment on Telegram. If you'd like to join it, I'm going to vet you first, so please get in touch, because we want the right people in there. But I'd love to grow the group, because it is really teaching each of us how supported we are, and also how to overcome the fear in the different narratives. Because I want everybody to remember that at this time, there are a lot of well-meaning people putting stuff out there, and there are a lot of not so well-meaning people putting stuff out there. In the end, though, if the net effect is that fear is triggered in us, that means that our sympathetic nervous system has been activated, which is what everything in the collective is trying to get us to do, right? The television, the radio, the newspapers, fear, 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 fear. And our job is to stake that claim. I don't think I'm saying it right. Is to put that rod in the sand and basically say, the light has won in my life. I am choosing that love wins. So I am going to activate my parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, repair, tend and mend, feed and breathe. And the way we do that is by any method for calming your nervous system down. Heart-brain resonance, you can look at heart math for that, lengthening the out-breath, shaking the body, gentle calming movements, which you have to do after you've shaken your body if you've gone into shock. But ultimately, this is in our control. So when you put your soul in control, you're putting your higher self, the you who is living the reality that you want to live. This is what I teach people in my coaching, to lead the way. And in my 6-step process, which I call Co-Creation 101, or the Superconscious Co-Creating Method, you have to have an intention, right? But before that, you want to activate your superconscious to lead your intentions. And many of us are kind of saying, we have intentions that when we kind of miss the boat a bit, all right? It's like, I want to live in a world where there's no money. I want to live in a world where this doesn't exist. I want to live in a world where that doesn't exist. And it's like, okay, that's an outcome that you think is going to give you a certain feeling vibration. How about accessing that feeling vibration now, and then asking your higher self, your superconscious, to guide your actions, so that whatever comes to pass as you surrender to the highest good will lead to that feeling vibration. So with this super full moon in Capricorn, we are re-anchoring, we're digging our heels in, and we're re-anchoring the intention that we had at the previous solstice 6 months ago, which for us in the UK was the winter solstice, and that is that the light has won. But I'm also asking you to join me, to add your energy to sending that light out there, to show all corruption, all manipulation, all systems of control being revealed for what they are doing. Now, there are plenty of people within those systems with good intention, but they are misguided, because the systems themselves are designed to try and control, manipulate, and suppress our autonomy. We don't need that. We are ready to live as sovereign beings on this earth. So this is the choice that we are actually making. And when you put your superconscious in control and you have an idea of what the end result is, so I want to live in a world with no money because I want to feel free, for example. All right, well, let's just take that. What does free feel like? My intention is to feel free, and for all of humanity to feel free. From there, what actions can I actually take? What are the conscious actions my being can take to be able to help that along? Maybe you are going to be signing petitions. Maybe you are going to be joining meditation groups. Maybe you're going to be rewriting narratives, as I'm going to show you in a minute. Maybe you're going to be adding your voice where it needs to be added, or supporting those who are awakening. We're all doing different bits at this point. But in so doing, my friends, what we do is we are allowing ourselves to bring to us rather than try and go towards. You allow yourself to receive that end result, which is feeling free. What comes up after is the resistance. Whatever tools you have to clear your subconscious resistance is really important. And then you're walking along a path of blind spot discovery and self-mastery. Okay, so fine-tuning blind spot discovery to self-mastery. So let's give an example here for you. One of the group members, shared, quite rightly so, we're all getting vexed, we're all getting, feeling judgmental at times. And what she's actually doing is basically saying, things are going to get worse before they get better. We're going to have economic collapse. The dollar's going to collapse. The whole monetary system is going to come down, the euro, etc. Then there's going to be another wave of this thing that people seem to be getting, that seems to be changing form. And that will be blamed on the people that didn't want to partake in the program, right? And, we can kind of see this coming. Those of us who are awakening, those of us who are seeing things beyond the eyes of fear most of the time, we see what's coming. But the beautiful thing is we can then shift what is coming because we can see it. So we say, well, how about instead of the system collapsing, it stabilizes, right? How about in the reality that I'm co-creating, instead of things getting to the point that they have to get really, really bad, I'll just give the example here, say that the idea is that it would be blamed on those who didn't partake, this third wave. We can see it coming here in the UK. We know exactly what's happening. They've started, using testing methods on all of the youth. Now, if this method in itself is highly inaccurate, which we know it is, because there are lots of people that have been talking about that, including who that everybody is listening to. We know that if we get everybody going through a route of testing, then we're going to find ourselves with a lot of figures that we didn't have before. And then that justifies the actions that are being taken now that were never going to be taken apparently months ago. Although those people that were looking ahead going, we can see what's coming, were telling us months ago what was going to be happening now. So this is like a cat and mouse game. And, the game at the moment is that every time something triggers fear in us, we need to calm ourselves down and then choose what we want to come out of it instead. So instead of the predicted collapse, how about we have some kind of stabilizing of a system and actually upgrading of a system, the system that seems right for us, that we want, a system that is based, instead of on digital currency, for example, is based on what used to be gold, let's just say, right? And also, instead of the wave being blamed on those that aren't partaking in the fear-based game, the fear-based narrative, the fear-based therapeutics, instead of it being blamed on us, it becomes highly obvious that those that are actually partaking in it are the ones that are most susceptible, because they're the ones that are filling the beds in the places that we go to when we're not very well, right? You're going to start to see more and more as you open yourself up to exploring the different narratives, how the same thing is showing up again and again. Like we're being shown and we just need to see it. Once we see it, you can't unsee it. And once you can't unsee it, your perception shifts once and for all. You're no longer manipulated in the same way. But what we do need to do, those of us who are awakening, is we must band together. Where they're seeking to divide us, we've got to unite. Wherever it is that they're trying to find our weak points, we come together and we go, no, we're all united in this. Because if you've been following what's going on in the world and you take a bird's eye view, you step back, you step up and you look at what's happening, you will see that this is much more about being able to tie in the technocracy, to tie in the new technologies that they're trying to implement around the planet, with every one of us being very easy to find. All right. Now, why would anyone want that? Oh, to keep us safe, because we need to be kept safe, because, we're not safe on our own. Are you going to give your power away? Are you going to take your power back? Take your freedom back. Stand up. All right? Freedom cannot be taken from us. It is our choice to be free. You can take all the toys away. Yesterday, I was very blessed to interview someone for my first, I'm going to be basically sharing a podcast with the world. I want to call it Awakening and Wondering What the Fuck, but I might have to go down the route of something a little bit more acceptable, maybe like #StarPeace. But essentially what came up out of this was that this amazing woman, Lisa B, telling her story, which busts through so many paradigms, so much suppression. When you actually hear what she's been through, you'll be blown away, right? And the point is, if she's still here on this planet, you know that we are being divinely guided, we're being divinely supported if we call on that assistance and we call on that support. So it's really important we keep up our daily practices of calling the light and the love of the universe in, anchoring it into the earth, anchoring it into the crystal grid, taking it into the heart of Gaia, the diamond heart of Gaia, or Huna. Huna relates to the Hawaiian aloha frequency of just being in divine blessing all of the time. And where we're seeing these extremes, just coming back to that center again and going, what do I want to align with? I want to align with love winning. So let me choose love winning in my heart. Let me intend that love wins in the collective and in my personal life. And then let me take the actions that are inspired actions once I've put my soul in control that are going to support that love to win. And it takes trust. It takes faith. I'll give you an example. One of my clients at the moment was feeling really despondent about the fact that in Switzerland, a law is being passed at the moment that is really not good, right? It's basically giving away our sovereignty, giving away our freedom. And for that moment, her energy dipped. But what came out of it was the fact that 40% of the population in Switzerland does not want this law. Now, 40% is a lot. That's the published figures. Imagine how much more it is if it's others as well. So we need to remember that the backlash is coming, or the backlash isn't the right word. The attack is coming from the powers that want to hold control, right? They want to keep control, but the counter attack is the life. It's the life and the light. It's the tsunami of love that comes back and goes, nah, we're not having that. So in England, where we're preparing now for the fact that there's a mass intention to basically go towards the children now in September, right? That's the idea, is that the children all need to be saved with this thing now, because there's all these crazy variants going on, etc. And as a result of that, no one's safe, except everyone is safe. They're just immune compromised at the moment because of everything that's been going on, and we need to boost our immune system, not challenge it more. There are so many groups, collectives coming up, banding together, basically to create that counterwave, the resistance that says, no, we choose consciously this instead. You might want this for us. That's the subconscious program, or that's the autopilot that we've all been living in, but we're waking up now and we're smashing that out of the water. And that's what I want to inspire you. That's what I want you to come back and open to, and join me on Sunday to add your energy, your light to this. We need you. We need everybody to stand up and be counted. So for the people that are really still stuck in the narrative, you ask questions. You just ask them questions, all right? Or you say nothing and be in the vibration of peace. Speak your truth with love. There's no point in any of us attacking anyone else. If we do that, we're in division again. We've lowered our frequency. And really, if we're attacking, we're coming from fear. So we need to watch, each of us, our blind spots. Where do we get triggered into fear? And when you ask questions of someone who's still in the narrative and they then get defensive and attack you, you know that's your homework. You know that's where you can send the light and the love that is in your soul consciousness, so that they can actually see where they're at odds with what they believe and start to open up to more. Because for everyone, it is incredibly challenging. No one wakes up easily to all this stuff. All of us go through a moment of denial, then anger, frustration, desire to change things, before we can come to an acceptance and channel that passion, that rage in such a way that it's actually positive rather than counterproductive. So it's energy. It's energy. We can strip away what we call it, anger, passion, rage, frustration. It's energy. What do we want to use it towards? I picked some cards. This one here is the heart of the matter. And this heart of the matter, lovely Leslie Sloan's cards, is all of us have our part to play. We each have our part to play in this. We have our branch of the tree to stand on. So we really want to do that. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. So we each play our part. Some of us are creating music, creating art to uplift others. People like me are making videos and showing up here. Other people are, part of the movement of educating, and other people are the scientists, the doctors, the legal teams that are putting the pressure on the current state of play. We are winning. We are winning. We need to celebrate. All right. We all have our part to play. Do the bit that's easy for you. You don't have to do other bits. Do the bit that's easy for you. What we have to get over is a mistrust of the Divine Mother. Okay. We're so held. We are so supported. All of us. I've had messages like that. My clients have had messages like that. We are so held. All right. We are so held in the embrace of the divine. It is our time now to celebrate living on a planet that is liberated, that is free. Don't buy into what they're telling you, right? They're telling you stuff to try and make you believe that things aren't working out for the highest good, but they are. They are. And, every person who is speaking out publicly in the mainstream channels, just look at their connections. Follow the money. All right. Look at what they've got shares in. Look at what they're invested in. Seriously, it is so frigging obvious now that you just have to laugh. I'm laughing at it. I'm like, it's pathetic. Is that the best you've got? Move out the way. Our here and now, not upside down, is each of us is burning away our fear. We're recultivating our passion for change, and we are claiming our powers. This is the phoenix rising out of the ashes. You cannot destroy me. You cannot destroy love. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how you threaten me, my loved ones, or anything else. I am the light and the love of this universe. I am source energy, as are you. We remember that. We claim it. We are the ones that are the tsunami, the event, the wave of change. And what this is leading to is these beautiful cards. A reminder that there'll always be that duality, but how we unify it is by deciding what we're going to feed. Which bit? Get there, stake your claim and do it. We're going through a mass deprogramming. Every one of us is getting that moment, that light bulb moment. And I'm praying for those that I love that are asleep still, that I know are asleep, to awaken, the ones I love. It's like I pray for them. I see them awake. I see them having their moment, their epiphany, that suddenly, once they see it, they can't unsee it. Like we're all doing this, all right? We're all doing this in various professions. I rang up the public health people in this country to say, stop sending me text messages, stop sending me letters. I don't want them. This is actually a violation of my privacy. Stop. And they're apologizing. All right. The people that I'm speaking to are apologetic because they can see it too. All right. But we've still got to stand up and go, fuck off. This one is the magic faraway tree. This is about dreaming our dreams into reality. So we have to make a choice. The old world is, I'll believe it when I see it. The new world is, I'll see it when I believe it. And that is the invitation for all of us to keep feeding the visions that we want. There was a really great example of a shop front. Actually, it's a picture of a shop front. And it said, please take your thing off. We're now 418 days in or something like that. We're all still here. And this is it. Use your logic, all right? And forgive those that are still stuck in the fear. But also remember that if you do need to make a point and you need to stand up and be counted, do it, all right? Don't let fear motivate your decisions anymore. And if you are in fear, let's not act until we've come into our power, into our empowerment. Just see if there's anything else I needed to say. Don't lose hope. We are the counterattack. We are the light. I've mentioned the Lisa B new podcast coming, so that's going to be coming soon. There's going to be a new Facebook group, and yes, I am doing it there on purpose because it's about rewriting narratives, and it's going to be called #StarPiece Seeding the New Earth Paradigm. I should have it ready by Monday. Tomorrow, if you want to join us in physical, we've got 2 spaces left for the summer solstice cacao ceremony and yoga workshop. I'm going to be leading that myself, and I've got some beautiful initiations to share with people. Secondly, on Sunday, we have the full moon co-creation meditations all over my website. You can go and purchase it. It's very reasonable. It's like $11.11. You can choose what you pay, right? And also, if you're on my mailing list, then you will have got emails about it. If you're not on my mailing list, please join it, rosieglow.com. Sign up for the free Star Salutation Prosperity Practice. This is where I can then let you know of the other things that I'm doing because I have to be very careful about how I share things elsewhere at the moment, I have noticed. And on Monday, there's going to be an epic event, 33 women, sacred, divine feminines, including me. We're going to be taking part in Tara's beautiful collective of women. I think it's called Birthing the New Earth, but I'm going to put the link in it anyway. All day, a panelist discussing everything from fertility, menstruation, all the women's secrets, pregnancy, conception, pregnancy, birth, and basically birthing the new earth, everything through to menopause, the secrets, the power of the empowered feminine. It's not women basically acting as men, all right? It's not women in their wounded feminine. We need to evolve ourselves. We need to remember our power. We're not sweetness and light all the time. We're not suppressed truth all the time in any way, shape or form. Our truth is raw. It's scary. That's why we have been pushed down and held down for so many thousands of years. But it ain't time for that anymore. Our time is to rise as the balanced divine feminine. And you'll see in this image here, because it's the top of the deck, that you have the masculine holding that disc of the feminine totally in her power. Okay, so I don't think I've got much more to say here other than people get triggered. It shows you where the light needs to be directed. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say. So I'm going to invite you to come along and join me, as I said. And please, if you are thinking about doing some coaching work with me, now is the time. If you're like, I need to learn how to feed the light, how to deprogram, and how to focus on my desires so that I can manifest them, then that is the Fearless, now called All Fearless, Loved Up and Free program. And, you know, one of the byproducts of that is you get pregnant if you want to get pregnant. You meet your twin flame or your soul, you know, your sacred union partner. If you want to do that, you make more money, you get aligned with your soul purpose, you clear away all of the self-sabotage that usually stops you from fully showing up in your life. You know why? Not because you push it all down, but you love yourself up anyway. And I am just here to say, I love you so much. Thank you for showing up. If you are enjoying these videos, please share them with others. Please let other people know. I've realized that I have been very scared myself being seen because I've had some persecution stories from my history, my previous lives that have been playing out that have become very visible to me since the last solstice, since the winter solstice for me. So I'm now ready to be seen. I'm ready to show up and go, hey, and I'm not scared of being shut down anymore. So yeah, if this is feeling true for you, let's get out there. There's so many of us that need to come together. I've mentioned that I've been channeling this frequency of Lady Nada and also of Mary Magdalene. So we're not here as rebellious voices just being mouthing off for the sake of it. We're tempering it with that divine mother voice so we can speak our truth with love and we can show up and the seas can part. We can receive through our vibration being in alignment with what we desire. That's the power of our womb. But we have to clear the toxicity that we have inherited from so many different generations that makes us feel an empowered feminine is actually not an empowered feminine at all. It's a woman who is not owning her power fully and learning how to. It doesn't actually matter what your gender is. We all have a divine masculine, a divine feminine, and a divine child within each of us. So bringing this into synergy and learning what it means just to be authentic is very important for us to remember. So I have mentioned a VIP day, which I've postponed until September. I'm calling on all the visionaries, all of the influencers, all of the coaches, all of the leaders, the females that want to step forward and speak it as it is, but have felt muzzled, have felt suppressed, have felt scared to this point, to join me for the initiation of the Magdalene and Nada flame and to clear away the past life programming, conditioning, trauma that has meant we're too scared to really show up in this life and therefore we've been self-sabotaging, and then to activate a true alignment with what we've come here in this life to do and to empower those that are connected to us to play their part too. So it's going to be a whole weekend over the equinox, the autumn equinox in the UK. If you're interested, please get in touch with me and I'll add you to the list. For now, I love you. It's quite a long update. Have a wonderful weekend. Do join us if you can for all the different things I've mentioned. Come join my community. Come get in touch about Fearless. And if you prefer the one-to-one approach, remember that I offer that as a super conscious co-creating method, which is a year-long program or a 4-month program, depending on how you want to get started. Okay, I'm here. I love you. It works if you work it. Take care. Namaste.